Good morning, y'all. It is a beautiful day. Not too hot, not too cold. The wind is slowed down, and it's supposed to get up into the 70s today. So I'm looking forward to being able to spend some time outdoors. I hope you can hear the birds. They're happy today. I've had a hummingbird buzz me already. Um, the back of my phone has a red case, and he was at the feeder, and he came flying straight toward me. But I'm coming to you this morning, no hair done, no makeup, no nothing, because I want to talk to you about getting my mojo back. And I think a lot of it is, as a woman of a certain age, um, I have entered the crone period. Actually, I guess I've been in it for a while. If you're familiar with the maiden mother crone concept, I kind of like the idea of being a crone. Um, Not a crone like in Snow White when she turns into the evil old crone and gives her an apple, but a woman of experience and wisdom and empathy, compassion, that kind of thing, who wants to lift other women up and actually lift anyone up. Um, but I think that, that comes with some hard realities. Um, I'm not the cute little young thing I used to be. And, even I didn't mind my turning 30, didn't mind turning 40, 50, even 60 didn't bother me. I had a lot of life changes just before I turned 60 at 57. I was just happy to have survived and made it to 60. And actually, I'm happy that I've made it this far at 67. But this time, these past few years, there's been a lot of changes. And I think that it did affect how I looked at things and belief in myself and the things that I could do. Not that I haven't done a lot, um, but it's more that I didn't realize, my physical appearance has changed and it has affected me mentally and emotionally. Um, that's just life. It's going to happen to us as we age. I had some health issues come up last year, and I think that may be part of it. I was trying to focus on that and get those under control, and had a new grandbaby. And I quit my job so I could help them out and babysit. So that's a huge change in my life. I'm still trying to get ready for my aunt to move in whenever she sells her home out on the West Coast. Right now, it's tough times in the house market, so we don't know when that's going to happen. I still have a lot of things to do, but last year I let things get out of hand, and I didn't take care of the outside. I didn't take care of getting my mower fixed, and the yard and everything just got out of hand, along with the house. But I wanted to do this video with no makeup, not having done my hair, not having anything fancy on, not trying to, impress or anything like that. And just, I've had some issues with my teeth and I'm trying to get that fixed. So that's a journey that's a tough one. More because it's so darn expensive to get anything done dental wise. And right now, uh, with the economy taking the hit that it has, or the stock market, we got to be a little careful about our money. But that being said, I'm hopeful. I have survived two husbands passing away, both under not normal circumstances. One was when I was 27, and my son's dad was killed in a car accident by a drunk driver on his birthday, on his my son's birthday. And then my second husband took his own life, and that comes with a whole set of baggage plus other things, legalities and things like that. So I've survived that. And that was you know, I was 27 when my first husband died, and I was 57 when my second husband died. So I've survived that, and I've come a long way. I retired a few years ago. I was a director for a chamber of commerce for my county, and then COVID hit. So I was very isolated. And, it makes a big difference in your life, the things that you do and how you're interacting with people. I was used to being out there a lot, and then all of a sudden I'm not. But I survived it. With the help of my friends and family, I was fine. I did get COVID twice, um, but I was fine. And I think that, you know, women of a certain age, like me, when I talk about the crone stage, instead of being appreciated for our experience and our wisdom and our talent, we become invisible. And I think maybe that was tough for me after being out in the public eye and doing so much that I became invisible. During COVID, I stopped coloring my hair and I went natural. But you know what? Every day I go somewhere, somebody compliments me on it. Mainly women and men, have complimented me on it. Very few have said, "Oh, it makes you look old." But you know what? I don't care. I'm 67 years old. You know, it's not an insult to me to be told you're old. So that's why it kind of snuck up on me that I was being very insecure about the way I look. And part of that is, my teeth just disintegrated after my second husband died. I don't know if I was grinding them or what I was doing, but I need to have all my teeth pulled and something done. So that's not something I look forward to because I'm not into pain, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, it's not healthy to not take care of your teeth. So that's something that I want to do. Um, so, and I meant it when I said I'm trying to get my mojo back. I need to get motivated again. I quit my job. I had a part-time job retail that gave me, an outlet to meeting with people and dealing with people. Sorry, somebody went by. I had to be nosy and see who it is. When you live out in the country, you keep track of who goes by. But I became a babysitter for 3 children, 5 and under, 5, 3, and 1. And last year, the oldest will be 6 in May. The second one will be 4 in October. And the third one, she's 18 months. And so she's just discovering and learning, and, she's hit the ground running. Um, so that's a big change for somebody who only had one child. And I do have 3 stepsons. And I met my second husband when they were, 9, 5, and 3. But he didn't have, he only had, shared custody. So we only had him every other weekend. So it's a big difference, and the world's a lot different now than it was whenever my son was young and raising him. So there's just been a lot of changes, and I am optimistic, and I recognize that this time of year is tough for me because both of them passed away, one on May 2nd and one on May 3rd. So I start feeling the emotions. It kind of sneaks up on me because it's gradual. I don't know why, but it is. And so I just have to deal with the depression. And, part of that is faith. I have faith that they're both fine and in a much better place, and that they're my guardian angels watching over me and keeping me going. When my second husband died, I talked about that at his funeral, is that I think God realized I needed a lot of guardian angels. But I've always been very fortunate and lucky to have real people as my guardian angels. And now you may not believe that. That's, perfectly fine. But I really do think that, you know, there's someone watching out over me. And that person is God. And sometimes he has to send angels because I need extra help. But anyway, it's because I can be stubborn and I can get something in my head that I'm going to do and it really isn't the right thing. Um, you know, sometimes I just go full steam ahead and I have to be reined in. So I'm just really enjoy sitting out here this morning talking to you all. I have been working outside. I've gotten a number of projects done and I am going to work on those videos and get them posted so you can see what I've been doing to get my mojo back. And I'm going to work outside for a while and get things straightened up. There's nothing more depressing than turning into your driveway and there being weeds, dead weeds, and all your flower beds look terrible and your house is surrounded by dead grass and weeds. I can't do anything about the absolute front lawn until it dries out. It got overgrown, so I can't mow that. But the rest of it, I've gotten my mower taken care of, and I am going to keep it taken care of, and work on my outside. I've got plants to plant. I've picked up tomato and pepper plants and some herbs and just a few flowers because I don't want to get overwhelmed with having to take care of the yard whenever I do need to get my house in order. And I'll take you along on that journey where it is a hoarder situation. The, there's 100 different reasons of why it is the way it is. And, I might go into it later on as I'm cleaning up and talking to you. But right now, it is what it is. And so I hope you'll come along in this journey with me and see where it takes me and how, I'm going to get everything shaped up out here. I've got a flower bed over there that has peonies or peonies, whichever way you say it. I say peonies that are coming up, so I need to get that cleaned out. There's, little shrubs and trees and weeds and stuff that have grown up in there, but I want to get that cleaned up. And I've got a video where I walked around the yard, and as I, show you the different areas that I have worked on, to show you the before and after, we'll go through that. And, I'm excited. I'm very excited to see because this yard can be very pretty. I wish that I had taken more pictures whenever my one of my stepsons had his rehearsal dinner out here, and my good friends helped me get it all cleaned up and straightened out. And my soon-to-be daughter-in-law came up to me that night and told me that I made her feel like a fairy princess with what we had done out here. And so, what more could you ask for? That you could make somebody feel like a fairy princess. Um, so we this place can be very pretty, and I want to bring that back. And sorry, squirrel. Actually, it's a vehicle. Um, so we will um, see what kind of magic we can make and make it a fairy princess garden again. I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed day. I'm going to get to work here and I'll video some of that. But as I said, I've got some videos that I'm getting ready to show you what I have done so far. And I mean, there's still a lot to do, but weather-wise, we've been having a few challenges. And I babysit normally 3 days a week, but this week I'm babysitting 4 days a week. So we'll have to see how that goes on what I can and cannot get done. The two youngest ones do not go to school, so I can actually pick them up and bring them back here. But that's a challenge, even though they love being outside. And I have, they can dig in the dirt and they can play and, have a good time. The little one you really got to watch. The middle one, you got to watch her, but she can entertain herself. So we'll see how that goes. And I'll show you each little section that I get cleaned up as we go. I want you to be able to see what it looked like before I worked on it so you can see the drastic measures. But now, when I pull in the driveway, I look at the front of the old house. It sits in front of my new house. And I got those beds cleaned out, and it just makes such a difference. I don't feel like I'm pulling into an abandoned property anymore. And that's the way I felt, and it was just depressing. So now it looks a lot better. I'm going to get those flower beds straightened out, and I have a flower bed up front that I have some old bicycles and an Adirondack chair that I painted. So I want to get some flowers out there, keep it simple, but I want to, get all that cleaned out. And we'll go from there. So I'm working on getting my mojo back, and I hope you will come along and with this old crone and see what we can do. You know, it is in your mind a lot of times. I realize people have physical issues, and I have physical issues, but I'm blessed that I can still, you know, do things, get outside, push the wheelbarrow, use a saw, whatever I need to do, I've been able to do so far. If I can't, then I can, get somebody to help me with it. But for the most part, I can do it myself. And, I'm very thankful for that, very thankful and blessed. So I'm going to shut it down now and get to it. So I'll have another video to show you, and I'm excited. I want to get it back into shape. Like I said, I felt like I was driving into an abandoned property, and I just had to put my foot down, draw a line in the sand, however you want to put it, and say no, no more, Myra. You're going to get this done. You got the time, you got the energy. I may not have the money, but I'm good at recycling. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.